Do you know about Association of Indian Management Schools? It's a 34-year-old networking body of B schools in India, having a membership of about 600 top management institutions. AIMS focuses on professionalization of management education, protects interests of B schools, represents management institutions at national and international forums, financially supports members in academic events, funds research projects on management, disseminates management-related knowledge through its annual Management Education Convention, conferences, seminars, roundtables and workshops, organizes free weekly webinars on knowledge sharing and inspiring young leaders sessions for management faculty and students, supports B schools in admissions through Atma, AIMS test for management admissions. Visit https://atmaims.com for more details. Publishes a biannual AIMS Journal of Management. Visit https://aimsjournal.com for more details. Circulates a quarterly e-newsletter on AIMS activities. Conducts workshops on case writing. Encourages AIMS members to be part of decision-making processes as members of chapter management committees and the executive board. Encourages students' participation in free weekly quiz competitions by providing support to interested institutions. Facilitates networking and interaction among B schools. Why would you like to remain a non-member of AIMS? Pay a very low one-time membership fee and enjoy many lifetime benefits. Visit https://aims.org.in for more details.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to the speaker, Professor Venu Gopal garu, for this session, and participants and the organizers of All India Association of Indian Management Schools. Myself, Dr. Neela Kanta. I am an assistant professor and head of the department in tourism management. I am working for Simhapuri University, Nellore, in Andhra Pradesh. It's my privilege to introduce our learned speaker, Professor Venu Gopal garu, for this session. Professor Venu Gopal is a graduate in economics from Nizam College, Hyderabad, at MBA and MBA from Usmania University and PhD from Kota University, Warangal. Professor Rao worked in industry for 11 years before moving to active academics in 2002 due to his passion for teaching and training. He worked for leading companies such as Microelectronics Limited, Tata Infotech Limited, and Sparktech Ceramics. He joined ICFAI Business School, Hyderabad in December 2008 after completing his PhD. Took on the responsibility as Associate Dean, Research in 2013, and in January 2014, he took over as an head of the department, Marketing and Strategy at IBS Hyderabad. In March 2023, he was promoted as the Director of ICFAI Business School, Hyderabad. IBS has a close to 5,700 students in UG, PG, and PhD programs, and is a constituent of ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education. And a deemed to be university, accredited by NAC with A++ grade. Besides teaching, which is his passion, he actively engages in institution building activities. He was awarded the Best Faculty Award for Institutional Development in 2017 and 2019. As the accreditation coordinator, AACSB, he was closely associated with the initial accreditation process, which IBS Hyderabad secured in February 2020. As a faculty member in the Department of Marketing, he taught different courses in the MBA and PhD programs, and he has, to his account, published about 35 research papers, presented 14 conferences papers, and successfully guided 6 PhD scholars at IBS Hyderabad. And besides his academics, Professor Rao has a passion for reading and like to listen to music in his free time. Sir, I welcome you, sir. I welcome you for the session. So before starting the session, I just want to give some instructions to the participants. During the session, I request the participants cannot unmute themselves because it becomes a disturbance for the session. and they may use Zoom chat box for questions, which will be answered during question and answer sessions. And feedbacks attendance link will be shared in the Q&A question and answer session only, and is available only for 15 minutes after the session. And certificates will be issued only those who submit the feedback form within these 15 minutes. So now I will hand over the session to the learned speaker, Professor Venu Gopal Rao, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Neela Kanta, for a very generous introduction, and a very warm welcome to all the faculty participants who are joining the lecture now. And I'm happy that I'm getting this opportunity because of AIMS to meet a whole lot of my peers in different institutions. So today I've got an opportunity to interact with you on a topic that is very close to my heart, and this is something that we are taking as a challenge at ICFAI in terms of how we are going to now traverse this challenge that every business school is facing, not only in India but all over the world, right? And that happens to be the challenge of technology and technological disruptions, and how it is going to impact management education in general, and the future of management schools in particular. I'm sure this is on top of the agenda for many of us, and just before coming to this lecture, I happened to be part of a lecture that was delivered by Dr. Swaminathan from Tech Mahindra on skills of the future that students will require, part of this Amrit Kaal Vimarsh program organized by the AICTE. And there I had the fortune of listening to a senior gentleman from industry who was talking about some 10 top skills that are required for students of the future now. And we all should be ready to train students to take on the challenges of the future. And we should keep them ready because we are now looking at jobs that are staring at us without a proper definition. I really don't know what kind of jobs will be in front of them 6 years down, 10 years down. So though it's a far off kind of a planning that we will look at, maybe 2030 is too far. But the rate at which technology is progressing, the rate at which things are getting disrupted because of technology, it is not very far that we will have a huge workforce that is ready in terms of their degrees, but are not employable. That is one major concern that many higher education officials will have in India. So I thought let us deliberate in this short time that I have at my disposal on how technology is going to impact business schools, number one, and how it's going to impact, have implications for our curriculum management, which is, I think, a very, very important dimension of how business schools position themselves. So I'm having, I thought I'll structure my presentation on these 5 major areas. Let's look at the technology landscape. I will not go too deep into it because I presume many of you will be updated with this kind of background. Number 2, I will look at how technological disruptions are impacting businesses. And I thought I will share some very good examples from the field of artificial intelligence and how they are going to impact businesses in particular. Because businesses take our students and students that graduate from business schools, we also need to see how technology is disrupting and will create a disruption within business schools, followed by the challenges in curriculum management that all of us face. And then finally, I'll close the presentation with expectations from employers. And I want to just have one simple clarity here. The views that I'm sharing are my views, and this could differ from person to person, college to college. So I'm sure if there is any difference of opinion between what I present and what my audience today carry, it's purely in the academic domain. And I would try to address those differences at the end of the lecture. The first slide, I thought I should share what I see as the fundamental shifts that are happening in the environment, and we technically we call them as Industry 4.0 or 5.0. And Industry 4.0 was there until 2018-19, and then we see Industry 5.0 coming in. And these are technical terms that are being given because there are certain fundamental differences between these two time horizons. And today we are in Industry 5.0, where we are looking at how technology is getting is getting into the picture in our daily lives, and how it is influencing human interactions and the way we live our lives on a day-to-day basis. So what are those technologies? Is what I've mentioned, as a sequence: AI, IoT, cloud computing, talking of cybersecurity, automation, big data and analytics, human-machine interactions, tracking technologies, predictive maintenance, fintech, robotics, etc. And this is at the industry level now. So from 2020 onwards, what we also observe is there is a renewed focus on sustainability. We're talking about environmental stewardship, human centricity in whatever we do, and finally, social benefit. And the recently concluded Conference of Parties, I think 28, that was held in Dubai, underlines the importance that environment should be getting, because we are already consuming more than what we can produce, and we are getting into what is called as a zero situation, where resources will be depleted even before they are actually outlined for consumption. And this is something very, very dangerous that the planet carries. And we should be really wary of these things also as we navigate the technological shifts. We should also be wary on its impact on environment and people at large. So what is the impact of technology? The biggest impact that most of us is workforce displacement. A study estimates that out of a population of about 7.5 billion people in the world, close to 1 billion people will be displaced from their current work positions as early as 2030. So 1 billion people going out of jobs because of technology is a big issue that should worry a lot all of us, policymakers, politicians, industry. Everybody should be worried about this kind of a threat that technology poses to us. But on the other hand, there is a positive impact, and the positive outcome is, while technology will displace a lot of people, it will also create diverse, and it will also create diverse requirements. It will also create a diverse pool of workforce where the nature of work will dramatically change and need not be permanent for a lifetime. So we will have significant changes in the way people work. The work may be as short as 5 years in duration and as long as maybe 10 years in duration. So the gone are the days when people used to be in one job, one industry, and one sector for a lifetime. Today, you will have a workforce which will be moving on from place to place, and that will necessarily by the technological shifts that are happening. I'll move on, and I thought I'll share a couple of areas where businesses are getting impacted because of technology disruptions. And what I wrote on the slide now, and what I display on the slide, is these are the positive outcomes. And the big question that is in front of industry today is, are they ready? In fact, I was listening to a guest faculty who had come from the US about 6 months ago at IBS, and he is in this area called Detroit, which is also the home of the major auto companies of the United States. And he was sharing how slow are auto companies in moving and moving with the digital transformation that is happening all around them, and how the legacy drag is not allowing them to move forward, how cultural issues are not allowing them to move forward. On the other hand, we have nimble companies like, say, Tesla, which are taking the complete benefit of the technological revolution, and they are trying to move ahead of other traditional auto companies. And today we see the market cap of Tesla definitely is much, much higher than these traditional auto companies. Nevertheless, companies that are trying to do well, I think they are being benefited. They will be benefited because of efficiency improvements, number one. They will be happy to engage with customers, and the customer service will be definitely much better because of the technology. We also see because of digital transformation, you'll have a greater online presence. I don't remember going to my bank in the last 6 years now. I've never seen anybody at the bank in a physical form now. So everything is online. And I'm sure this is with everybody here. Today we are talking about optimizing mobile devices, and everything now is centered around the small instrument that is in your hand. Third point that I would like to quickly mention is about the insights and the data analytics that we are talking about, and how companies are making some sense of it. Let's take the healthcare as an example. And these healthcare units, or hospitals as we call them, have loads of information about patients and the customers who visit them. But they need some direction and some roadmap that they can use this data for. And I'm sure organizations are now stepping in to help the healthcare sector in a big way. Last but not the least, in this slide, we are also looking at how business models are changing very quickly. And asset-light institutions are coming up overnight, and you don't need the physical infra now to start a business. We're talking about subscription services, we are talking about platform-based businesses, and we're talking about sharing economies. I'll quickly rush through this slide. We are not alien to how customers today are demanding personalized attention. And thanks to technology today, I think we are able to tailor our product and services to individuals now at the smallest granular level because of technology. And today, if I were to take an example, we're talking about direct-to-consumer businesses which are flourishing. And thanks to COVID, the pandemic has accentuated this need. And we also see a lot of startups that have come up in this area where they're able to fulfill individual preferences and needs and wants due to technology, which was not possible even 5 years ago. We're talking about things like IoT, supply chain innovations, where we are talking about real-time tracking, we are talking about transparency and efficiency in the movement of goods. We are not surprised that majority of the products that we receive in the online on the online e-commerce platforms like Amazon, many of these things are so well designed that you are able to get your merchandise or the products that you order within 24 hours. And that is because of the extent of specialization that these companies have got into. Again, thanks to technology. You may wonder why I'm spending a little more time on the second point on supply chain. The journey at Amazon began as early as 2010. And they set up a laboratory within Amazon by identifying people who were in logistics, and they identified some smart people there and said, why don't you use the data that we have of the previous 10 years and start tracking things, start identifying patterns in data, start identifying products that are ordered very frequently, and how customers tend to move towards a predicted path. And 2010 and 2023, 13 years, you see how Amazon has been able to now reach out and be the number one player in the e-commerce market. Last but not the least, in this slide, again, let me look at technologies that are allowing for developing of eco-friendly products, energy efficient processes. We are talking about e-vehicles now, e-scooters, e-bikes, and we're also talking about responsible waste management practices as things go down. I will look at one illustration as I promised, and this is from an article that appeared in the Harvard Review. This is nothing of my making here. But to those who fear that technology will create a disruption of sorts and it will displace people from their jobs, this article actually sounds a very positive note and says that is not the case. If 1 billion people are displaced, 1.2 billion new jobs will be created. And this slide exactly talks about that. So we have two major areas where machines and humans will collaborate. And the first point that I would like to take you, maybe giving some anecdotal evidence, is how humans are going to assist machines. It's not vice versa that machines only will assist humans. Humans have to assist machines to become more and more efficient in what the task that they are doing. For example, let's take a simple thing like say Cortana in Microsoft, or you have Siri in the iPhone, and maybe there is one more thing that we look at in Amazon. I'm clearly not able to recall suddenly, but Amazon, you have a virtual assistant that comes and says, yes, what is it that you want? And you can talk to that bot, and you can start, maybe you can request for something, you can order things online, you can do a variety of tasks. And now machines that are running, we're talking about IoT devices now, need a lot of training. I mean, these things don't happen because what you and I see is only the final product in your house. Suppose I see a Siri operated AI device that is working, or a smart device that is smart lights that are working in your house based on voice assisted assistance. These things have taken years to come to this stage, which means a lot of training has gone into bringing them to that level. So what experts say is it's important to train machines, and in order to train these machines, or the creating of these algorithms, or the machine learning tools that go into these things, we need people to train these machines, and these are the people who are there currently in certain roles which are where they are only doing repetitive jobs. So companies are identifying people who can be trained and pushed to those levels where they could be training machines, and these machines in turn become efficient over time, and they could be utilized for the general benefit of the general population. I was talking about the Amazon Assistant. The Amazon Assistant, I think, is called Alexa. And as we move forward, we will now know that I wrote a word called explain there. We have to also do what is called as explaining the job, because these machines are now still not totally refined, and you and I are interacting with these machines currently in a beta form, and the beta form is not exactly the best form. Take an example where artificial intelligence and bots are used in the medical and the legal field. And you observe that these machines are only as good as what you have fed them. But if they make mistakes, which because of the lack of learning or the lack of training, human beings will have to come and explain and create those efficiencies in these machines in case they have to work well. So that's what I meant by explain. And this also needs a set of trained workforce to take the process forward. Let's look at sustain. Again, AI and robots are exactly not tuned to live our life the way we live our lives. So there is a threat, there is an ingrained perception that these machines could also damage, could be a serious issue of safety and others. So we may have to also look at of taking this system forward by continuously monitoring. And this again, monitoring will require again some workforce which has to be trained to that. I look at now machines assisting now humans now. How will machines assist humans? I'm sure you and I are looking at the entire journey of OpenAI, the company called OpenAI, where Microsoft has significant investments, I think about $12 to $14 billion. And the saga in which Sam Altman was asked to leave and again reinducted into the company. So we are talking about chatbot. We are talking about chat GPTs and we're talking about large learning models. Currently, these are seen as panacea for several ills. But the author here begs to differ, and he says, in fact, machines can assist human beings. For example, we are talking about say drug discovery, and we're talking about pharmaceutical businesses now. And I was just listening to this example in the previous lecture I was mentioning. The powerful companies in future, in the next 30 years, is not going to be a pharma company. It's not going to be Pfizer or any other company. It's going to be Google. And Google is going to be the most powerful company, even in the pharma business. It may not manufacture a drug, but finally it will hold information that is going to be so powerful that many pharma companies will have to depend on Google, for instance. So as we see the positive side of technology, machines will also assist human beings. We're talking about how machines will interact with human beings. Today, a lot of auto companies in Germany are using what are called as we are calling them as cobots, C-O-B-O-T-S. And cobots are nothing but machines that are wearable by human beings, and there are certain heavy tasks that are done by certain workers in the auto factories that can be now easily done by humans and machines working together. Obviously, we have chatbots which are there now for service companies. A lot of work is getting done there, where machines are assisting humans. Wherever there is no possibility of machine and it reaches a dead end, it can be escalated to a human who is also waiting to answer the customer query. And finally, we are looking at embodiment, human features that are embodied in a robo. We have examples of that in the Western world. In India, we are not yet ready for that. So all these now, as I see quickly, we will look at how the workplace will change just because of one area called artificial intelligence. And what is the transformation going to result in? It's going to result in 5 key attributes that are going to be positives for many industries that will take the benefit of AI. In fact, the government of India also now, under the aegis of the ministry now and the industry ministry as such, is now saying it is going to be AI for all. And now there is a pressure on academic institutions also to incorporate AI in all courses and embed AI as a part of a key curriculum in as far as possible all the courses that we impart in the business schools. So what are the benefits of AI? Quickly, I mean, it will help now. Number one, in terms of flexibility now. Today, auto companies like Mercedes-Benz are able to customize cars to the last individual now. And that is possible because of the kind of data we have fed into these machines and the kind of technologies that are on the shop floor. I was mentioning in the previous slide that will help assist making customized cars. All these days, because of the very linear way of manufacturing, this customization was not possible. But going forward, I guess that will be possible. We are looking at speed. AI will help increase the speed of transactions at the customer level. For example, we're talking about fraud detection at HSBC. When a customer uses a credit card at a retail point or in a ATM machine, there could be this could be frauds where that need detection within seconds now. And today, because of the learning models or talking of machine learning models that are incorporated into AI now, we can also check fraud, and it has come down to a very, very detailed level. And this has also freed a lot of individuals who are working all these days into fraud detection in banks. Now they are free to work on several other things, which will help augment the development of AI in organizations. Third point, the benefit of AI is in terms of scale. I mean, one example that the author takes is the recruitment at Unilever. Unilever has close to about 1.5 lakh employees. And in order to keep on recruiting people or having some initiatives that are required for the worldwide workforce, it's a cumbersome process if it has to be done manually or using outdated technology. But today that's possible because of AI. Similarly, decision making gets accentuated, it speeds up because of AI. One example is about robo-advisors that are in modern banks. We're talking about companies like Morgan Stanley. And we are finally talking about personalizing healthcare. And not only healthcare, but any sector that you take today, you can personalize a lot of services. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, we are looking at literally we are looking at about a $5 trillion opportunity by 2030. And this is an estimate that was made by Mr. Satya Nadella, the head of Microsoft, way back in 2014. That the transformative opportunity, the digital transformative opportunity that we are all staring at is a $5 trillion opportunity, which is nothing but the India's GDP that we are planning by 2027. So one country's GDP is the opportunity for businesses just because of digital transformation. So I'll move on. How are these disruptions now going to impact business schools? There's going to be a direct and indirect impact. The direct impact is many business schools that are not ready with the relevant curricula, with the desired skills and qualifications of faculty, with the model of delivery that is tenable and sustainable. Those colleges will have a very difficult time continuing as schools of relevance, and students will eventually see how value is going to, how they're going to benefit from joining a school. And if they don't see a value at the end of the academic program, the enrollments may suffer in certain business schools. And everybody is wary of this impact. And an indirect impact, what we are also, as I move forward, I will try to kind of elaborate. But let's move forward. Today we are talking about relevance of transfer of knowledge and skills now. Recruiters, we have a dedicated division for corporate relations, and I'm proud to share that 95% of our students from the MBA program get placed in top companies all over India, and some of them abroad also. Today, companies are asking, show us your curricula. This is my job description. Share your curricula with us. What is that you are imparting in your school? Does your curricula have courses that cover the wide panorama of knowledge and skills that recruiters want? And it cannot be, again, silo-based. It has to have a multidisciplinary approach. And today we are talking about a new jargon that has come on the forefront. Is called purple skills. And what are these purple skills? This is nothing but a combination of hard and soft skills that people will require as they get into jobs of the future. So recruiters this year also, I was interacting with some of them, and they said, sir, this is my job description. So the candidate requires A, B, C, D, E. Is it covered in your curriculum? Can you share your curriculum with us? So that is what I meant by relevance of transfer of knowledge and skills. Are we imparting the right knowledge and skills? We're also looking at the impact if you are not having the current dated, I'm talking about the current curricula, that means curricula that industry requires, and you are still continuing with outdated curricula, we will not be able to withstand the challenge of technological disruption. Students will still get jobs, but they will not get jobs in the relevant area that they would love to work. So I will have a finance student who is really good, who has got a good grade, but is working for an insurance company. And that has nothing to do with finance at all. And you will have a marketing student working for something else, and an HR student necessarily not into HR. So we are talking about this mismatch that will happen because of disruption if we are not ready as a business school. So the moot question now, should business schools respond? I'm sure we should. And if so, how do we respond? In fact, I was yesterday in preparation for this session, I was reading. So there is a formal alliance that is getting formed in Europe. It's an alliance of management schools that are coming together. And they want to collaborate in different areas where they believe individual inputs will matter and cumulatively they'll benefit from coming together. So they don't see each other as competition, but there is a heightened requirement for collaborating. So that I'll share in a while from now. But what should business schools do? I'm sure the first and foremost challenge is to update our curriculum. At IBS, we already have a set of courses, both as electives and core courses that are basically directed towards training students for the technological disruptions. But there is a long road we have to traverse. It is not over. The challenge has just begun for us also, and we are taking the help of industry. We are taking the help of our recruiters, our alumni, and we are now looking at our curriculum virtually every academic year and trying to see what all best can be modified to the extent possible. That is also the need of the hour, because we as a private university and a category 1 institution, NAC A++, we enjoy certain freedom, and curriculum updation is something that we have as a core activity, and this is done in a highly structured manner involving all the relevant stakeholders. We are offering now diverse courses. We take a multidisciplinary approach. For example, when we were designing the basics of fintech and advanced fintech courses, we took the help of our engineering faculty and people who are qualified in the discipline, because fintech is not something which is theoretical. There is a technical side to it. When we were designing our analytics courses, we took help from our tech school. When we are talking about legal aspects of business, we are taking the help from our faculty of law. So we are looking at a multidisciplinary approach, because going forward, we believe this collaboration will yield results, and we can always strengthen the faculty pool and the knowledge capital that can be built within the university. We are focusing on experiential learning. In fact, all our classes are now are wired, and students, when they sit in these courses that have a tech orientation, students come with laptops to the class, and these are sessions that are done where students learn by doing. We also have a variety of other pedagogies that we adopt to enhance the experiential learning format. Students are taken out, there are field camps, we take them to industry exhibitions. In fact, there are boot camps. For example, the digital marketing course has boot camps which are organized by industry experts. We are talking about visits to industry. And all these. Finally, our internship. We look at a 3x3. We are talking about 12-week internship, 12-week-long internship that has a high focus on experiential learning. So next, we look at collaborating. Again, this is my prescription. We should be collaborating with tech companies as we go forward, without which I don't think the industry level inputs will reach colleges and will reach their curricula. We are talking about collaborating with peer institutions. I mentioned a while ago, Europe colleges are coming together, the US colleges are coming together. Maybe in India, that momentum has to begin. We are talking about skills of continuous learning and adaptability. Students have to be given these skills as time passes, and the earlier we do, the better it is for them. We're also talking about instituting what is called as a formal assurance of learning process. I'm a little skeptical, because what I observe in many schools and many colleges and universities is exams are still taken with a single point agenda that revolves around grades, marks, and we are talking about GPAs. We are talking about examinations. So somewhere the connect that we have to establish in a very systematic form is not happening. There are students who may not do well in academics. They may not be very good in writing skills, for example. They may not be very good in oral communication, but they may be very good in critical thinking. They may be very good in for example, leadership, but they may be wanting in conceptual knowledge. Certain of them may be poor in numeracy skills, but they may be good in leadership. Some may be good in technical skills, but they may be poor in articulation. So this is a diverse population of students that we see today. So it is important that colleges and universities also have a formal AOL process. I call it the assurance of learning process. Today, I think the NBA mandates it. AICT is also trying to mandate it. The UGC would like to now prescribe that. We're talking about program level outcomes, and we're talking of course specific objectives, program specific objectives. All these are now words that we are using time and again because of the new education policy. I'm sure this suggestion also will go down well, and it will prepare our students for jobs of the future. And finally, business schools that respond to market trends are some who will survive this onslaught and this disruptive nature. Many business schools may not find themselves relevant as time passes. So what is the curriculum management challenge in the context of these technological shifts? Regulatory approvals. Many in the audience, some of you may be representing government, but even as a private university, we have to seek what is called as a regulatory approval. We have to share what is it that we are going to impart. And currently in the UG programs, we have what UG we have 4 programs, 3 in the BBA and 1 at the commerce level. And we have 2 programs in the Faculty of Social Sciences. We have an executive MBA program, we have a PhD program, and we have the flagship MBA. So all these programs, whenever changes are happening and we are trying to do something new, these things have to be shared with the regulatory bodies. So that is a challenge, and when they want to know more about what we are doing, these are some things that we have to keep on sharing with them. So I'm not saying that's a challenge. So it also keeps us on our toes, but yes, it is going to be more frequent now, and regulatory approvals have to be sought more frequently because the changes are happening that frequently. We're talking about infrastructure challenge because we're talking about technology courses that need investments in laboratories. For example, the AI course needs high-end machines, and you're talking about high-end computing devices. You're talking about, as we move forward, things like QC or quantum computing will come into the picture. And you may have business school graduates also being part of certain courses there. So I would call it engineering getting married to management and vice versa. If that is going to be the future where technology will be an integral part of a manager's job tomorrow, you need infra to support this kind of movement. And I'm sure many colleges will want to look at this and will have a relook at their existing infra so that their students get the desired training, and faculty also get the desired inputs because they also need to get trained. That's the third point I wanted to mention. Many faculty members, as I observe, this is my second decade, I've completed 2 decades now. The bigger fundamental change has to come from the faculty now. Students have gone forward, students have changed, students have certain expectations. But many come back to me wherever I meet them, either in virtual platforms or otherwise also. The common refrain is that they do not want a pedagogy that doesn't connect with them. They don't want any theory. When you're talking of technology, it has to be learning by doing. And they say, sir, this is not what we are expecting. I already know this. And to cap all this, there is something we call, in a lighter fashion, the entitlement effect. So we're talking of students feeling entitled that since they are coming to a college of higher learning, they are entitled to the best faculty resources. And I'm sure if we don't train faculty to address the requirements of the technological disruption, we are doing a great disservice to the young population, to the younger students who are coming to us with an expectation that we will train them for jobs of the future. So my sincere suggestion is administrators who are in this audience or faculty who have any influence within their colleges that they represent, kindly make it a point that getting trained in new emerging technologies will help us survive this movement. Otherwise, we will also be out of this race and we will become increasingly irrelevant for the students of the future. We're talking about devising suitable assessment processes. While writing skills are important, I also believe that the assessment now should move away from testing memory and recall from memory. Many of our exams traditionally have revolved around testing their ability to recall. And in many cases, I have also seen faculty members asking students to write an Excel formula in a comprehensive exam. And in certain cases, I've also seen certain colleges not giving the periodic table and the statistical table book in the examination to assist them solve certain problems. This is one part of the story. The other part of the story is, are we assessing students for the key skills, competencies, and knowledge that are required? That is a bigger question mark that everybody has. And going forward, I suggest very strongly that we should be devising suitable assessment processes to test what is required by them in the jobs of the future. We also should have what is called as a collaborative work environment. If you are part of a university, you will have constituent schools which have other disciplines, and that can contribute to your success. Do not hesitate to talk to them, bring them on board, create a team with the Vice Chancellor of the university heading this initiative, or the respective directors coming together and trying to take the things forward, because it will be a win-win for all the constituents. And doing a job alone in this kind of emerging environment will not help anybody. So we are now looking, as we go forward, we are looking at multi and transdisciplinary approaches where ideas can come from different domains, and that will only help strengthen the curriculum. Definitely, kindly check for validity and applicability in the market, and revise as and when necessary. And this is going to help colleges, business schools sustain in the future. So, what are companies expecting from business school management graduates? Professor Manikanta, you are there, sir?
Sir, I'm here, sir.
So, what is the time I have, sir? What is the time I have? 5 minutes more? 10 minutes?
It's already 5 minutes past, sir.
Okay. Shall I'll finish in 5 more minutes?
Yeah, sir. Yes, sir.
I'll close. I promise I'll close. So, what are companies expecting from business school graduates now? So, as I mentioned very early on in this presentation, we're talking about a fusion of human, technical, and managerial skills. And in other words, companies are expecting graduates to develop the purple skills or the fusion skills, which is a mix of technical and business skills. And the next slide will tell you what these fusion skills or purple skills are. Kindly take a minute to go through the table that I have shared. This comes from a Deloitte report of April 2020. I would not hesitate to mention at this point. Next year, we are launching a program in the BBA. In fact, 2 programs. One where we're talking about AI and data science as one program, and we're talking about cloud computing and cybersecurity as one program, which means these areas will be minors. Obviously, BBA means management. The minor will be AI and data science. Another program on cloud computing and cybersecurity. And in the MBA program also, we are trying to bring about, anyway, we have the technical skills are 30-40% of our courses already have a lot of technical skills incorporated and embedded into which was otherwise very theoretical. Today, a lot of these courses have a lot of lab component where students are now learning by doing, and a lot of projects that faculty give them, they work once they go back. So we are flipping the learning model there, and we share a lot of information even before they come to the class. And at IBS, our predominant pedagogy happens to be the case approach. All our courses are driven by cases. We are the number 2 ranked case center in the world in terms of the index prepared by the Case Center UK. Harvard is number 1 and we are number 2 in the world. You may check the rankings at the Case Center UK website. And we are ahead of Ivy, we are ahead of Darden, we are ahead of many business schools in the world which are into writing cases. And this is because of the investment our founder made way back in 2002. That knowledge capital was built on a very, very sustainable manner. And today we have a strong 30-member team that writes cases and wins a lot of global awards. So pedagogy is the case method. Technical skills we are taking care. Business skills obviously are on the extreme right-hand side. You see, I will not try to elaborate that. But the center column is something that's of interest to all of us. We should look at generating, we are looking at creativity getting embedded into as many courses as possible. And the faculty getting trained in that domain. Imagination, courage, empathy. These are soft skills, but do need, sit at the intersection of technical and business skills coming together. And together as we go forward, somewhere you will see that some overlaps will be there on the right-hand side and the left-hand side. For example, you are not looking at technical skills without business skills, right? They have to get married somewhere, and for this, imagination has to be a predominant attribute that students will carry. So, final slide, sir. With your permission, I've just written 2 or 3 again from the Deloitte article. We have to embrace experiential learning. If we have to take on and prepare our students for the future, we have to establish centers of excellence within our colleges. We have about 4 centers of excellence, one of them being the Center for Digital Transformation. And as we go forward, I would also strongly suggest we should be hiring professors of practice. This is what I think the UGC chairman also is trying to suggest. And we already have about 20 such faculty at IBS Hyderabad. So I will stop at this point and stop sharing and maybe take a couple of questions if time permits.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, thank you, sir, for having a insightful session. We have enlightened with so many aspects of technology and its impact on business as well as education of business.
Yes.
And we have also understood what are the challenges in adapting this technology in the curriculum and adapting technology in this education in business schools. And what are the areas of technology which we have to inculcate in our curriculum in business schools. So we have also in the last slide, we have seen some strategies how we should learn and convey this education to the students also.
Yes.
It was a very interesting session, sir. It was more insightful for us.
Thank you.
And, sir, with your permission, we have some questions
yes,
which we can get enlightened. Sir, from the audience, we have some few questions.
Go ahead.
We'll go through that one by one, sir.
Please go ahead.
Sir, one of the participants has asked us, why can't IITs and IIMs can become a common facility centers, such that the faculty of all the business schools can become can take the advantage and adapt this technology into their curriculum?
Oh yes. And, a very good question. Yes, sir. You want me to answer, or shall I listen to all your queries and then respond?
Yeah. Anyway, sir, I will give all the questions. You can answer it. Otherwise, one by one we can.
I'll go one by one. So the question of IITs and IIMs coming together, in some way, we will observe it is not a very direct intervention that they do. But what I've observed is through the SWAYAM platform and maybe various other ways. I mean, I know of, say, IIT Madras, today the industry body called NASSCOM. There are several initiatives that are coming either because government is now trying to push that, or we are trying through the SWAYAM platform, the MOOC approach. But this idea that the participant has raised that why not these become hubs at the regional level? I'm sure maybe IIT Roorkee can be one nodal point for, or Guwahati can be a nodal point for the eastern region. Maybe the western region, you can have Mumbai as one place. The challenge is time, I think. But these institutes have laboratories. They can come for knowledge sharing sessions. Faculty can connect online. And I think it's a good idea to have them on board, sir. No doubt about it. Knowledge banks are sitting there. The whole knowledge capital is actually residing in these institutes. IIT Hyderabad, many of you must be aware, where I come from, Hyderabad. IIT Hyderabad has a better IT laboratory facility than IIT Bombay. Some of you are not aware of this. IIT Bombay is #1 in the country for a tech aspirant. So top rankers go to IIT Bombay for a degree in computer science. But the best IT lab facility is in IIT Hyderabad. So colleges within Hyderabad, this part of the country, maybe southern region, Tamil Nadu has a IIT, which is a design school. At the local level, it pays. I mean, I would strongly recommend. I think these things should come together, and a synergy of sorts can be built where this can come. But you need a nodal agency to connect these institutions, right? On a one-to-one basis, there are limits on what colleges can do by themselves because the unit level size is not significant. But if there is a nodal agency that can bring these things together, bring colleges together, bring peers together, I think things can move in the right direction. And I fully agree with my faculty colleague who made that suggestion. Number two, second doubt, sir. Second query.
Second query is what is the feasibility of artificial intelligence implementation in management education?
Oh yes, that's a very good question. Today, let's be ready, sir. 40% of our courses will have an AI dominant syllabi.
Future.
It will have an AI dominant syllabi in as early as 2026 or 27. We are talking about a government mandate calling AI for all. And it is like when the internet came, we thought, what is internet? When mobile phone came for the first time, I remember in 1997. I mean, we all predicted what is a mobile phone, how many people can afford it. Today, 1 billion people have it in India. I mean, I was joking. I mean, somebody joked in 2007, what is the future of the iPhone? Today, iPhone, the entire mobile phone market is on one side. Apple is on one side. The kind of profits that Apple makes just on the iPhone, the entire industry doesn't make that kind of money. We're talking about companies like Tesla. I mean, the market cap of Tesla is much, much, much bigger than all the auto companies put together. So going down the line, today it may look as a very, very small idea. It may look as a very small tech disruption. But from the reading that I have gone through, artificial intelligence will be the biggest game changer, much, much bigger than the internet. Much bigger than the internet. Absolutely. So we have to be ready, sir. It's only time. It's only time. Yes.
Another question is,
yes.
How this artificial intelligence will work for finances?
Finance means the finance area?
Finance area, yeah.
Oh my, I mean, that's the biggest application of AI is in finance, in banks, in insurance companies, in underwriting, in mutual funds, in derivatives. Everywhere you need, but the catch, there is a small catch there. We cannot blindly go by that recommendation. So you need a human intervention there, right? Technology has taken away the jobs of accountants because a lot of those jobs that accountants were doing are away now. Machines will do it very efficiently. But when it comes to, that was what I was talking about explaining now. You have to be very clear because you may upset a few customers. Say a bank has a chatbot or a bank has a virtual assistant that is talking to the client now. And let's take State Bank of India as a good example, the largest bank by market share. And you have, say, 200 million accounts in State Bank of India. And you have just one technology addressing customer queries at the base level. What if that goes wrong, that goes haywire? You cannot totally do away with people, right? That's one part of the story, the technology story. The other story is the process story. The process story still says that a lot of jobs that are very routinized in nature have to be given away to AI, because AI will do them in a very short time and with almost zero error, and it will free a lot of mundane activities, people from a lot of mundane activities, and you can channelize the energies of these people who are now free from the mundane jobs, and you can channelize their energies into jobs that the future generation requires. So you have to train them. I heard one good example is, say, Tata Consultancy Services has taken it as a mandate now that they are going to train their entire workforce on AI and in certain key programming skills that are important to continue to sustain its competitiveness for the next 20-30 years. So if you don't train yourself, obviously you will not be in the picture down the line. But AI is going to stay, whether we like it or not. Every business will have to take the help of AI. Banking, finance, the financial services, insurance, you name it, they cannot do it without these assistive technologies. You have to bank on them.
Sir, next question, sir. How artificial intelligence help us to build curriculum development? Are any sources as of now?
By itself, yeah, very good question, sir. Thanks for that question. By itself, do not rely on AI to do that. I mean, what is AI doing? You have trained a machine here to respond to a query, right? I mean, if you have a ChatGPT account, just go to an account and say, write a poem about the Telugu movie industry. It'll give you a Telugu poem. Write a poem in say Hindi about politics in India. It'll write a poem for you. Is that what we are looking at AI for? No, we are not looking at that. Finally, the human mind's imagination is not going to be taken away by machines or AI. No, which is where in-person learning will continue. Students will have to come to colleges. They will still have to be mentored. They still have to be counseled. They will still learn, but what they will learn is something very important. It is the fusion of technology and management skills that they have to be taught. And wherever autonomously they can learn, kindly leave them to their learning. Do not impose any conditions on them, because a free mind is a mind that can learn freely. And we impose conditions on them that this is the only way to learn. We are doing a great disservice to the future generation. So do take them along, handhold them. Have your own ways of doing that value addition in the class. But curriculum development is not the job of AI. You still have to get the industry on board. Call a few experts from industry. Have your alumni come on board. Have the experts from the domain come on board. Have the faculty who are teaching the course come on board. Make it a 360-degree approach, and then the curricula will develop over time. It's too early. I'm sure there is no prescription which is very uniform that can be applied everywhere. But do look at your audience in your colleges. Is it the right time? If so, are you ready with the laboratory? Are you ready with faculty who are trained in that area? Yeah. Yes, sir.
One last question, sir, for this session. What is the role of teacher specifically in artificial intelligence-driven classroom?
The role of teacher is he's a facilitator. He's not going to. 30-40% of the initial sessions will go in explaining the relevance, the basic models that run the AI backdrop. Beyond that, it is all going to be experiential learning, and it has to be based on bootcamp methodology. You have to give them projects, ideally live projects, to work on, and they have to be mentored very, very closely if possible, try to get industry on board and try to make it an industry-oriented, content delivered in the class in order to be relevant and also fruitful, so that they utilize it down the line. May not be immediately useful, but 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, they will not forget you for life. Students will require this today. Yeah,
sir. Sir, with this, I want to conclude this session, sir. I very much thank Mr. Professor Venu Gopal Rao garu for making some time for speaking or enlightening regarding technology and management education to our participants. I really thank you, sir. I also thank Mr. Sudhir Sharma, President of Association of Indian Management Schools, Dr. Narayan Reddy garu, Regional Vice President, South, AIMS, all the board members and AIMS Secretariat, and lastly, all the participants who have patiently listened to this session. I thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir.
Can I say a few words and then we conclude?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please. Sir.
Yes, concluding remarks. I sincerely thank all of you. Though I can't see you because of the technology constraint, I'm sure this session would have made some difference in your outlook towards looking at the future, and do look at this very seriously. But at the same time, I also thank you for being a very patient audience and allowing me to address this august audience of faculty. I always enjoy talking to my colleagues and peers. I'm sure we will meet sometime. This is a very small world that we live in. The academic world is even more smaller. So we will meet at some point in time. But I promise I'll keep in touch with this audience down the line. And I thank AIMS and the entire management of AIMS for giving this opportunity. And thank you, Dr. Neela Kanta.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Helping me with this.
Thank you, sir.